Hello, my Bill 5000 Nation. How's everyone doing today? Hopefully everyone's having a great day. If not, I hope it gets better from here. We are back with another That Chapter. This one is titled, Adopted Son Realizes the Cops Found His Disturbing Secret. Oh, shit. That sounds no bueno. Alright, I'm excited to get into this story. If you guys are excited as I am, go ahead, turn them lights down low, put on something comfy, cup, or something special. Let's get slightly disturbed. It's in the title. We're using that. Let's get slightly disturbed.
Hey you, and welcome. My name is Mike, and in this old video, it was the dead of night, Austin, Texas, if you can believe that. That was when a couple who owned a jewelry store were woken up by like a ruckus inside their home. The husband quickly grabbed his firearm and went to investigate. When he didn't come back, his wife followed him. What happened next was a very twisted story of betrayal, a spiderweb of betrayal, of really dumb people, and of the worst lies you've ever heard of. So let's give it a go.
The worst lies you've ever heard of? Now, Mike, we've heard some pretty fucked up shit on this channel. So
this whole video takes place in Austin, Texas.
We've heard some pretty fucked up lies on this channel. You know what I mean? we react to several different channels on this channel, and I've heard some pretty fucked up lies. So, Mike, now if you're saying that these lies are more fuckered than the rest of them, man, that's a tall order to fill, bro.
There was a jewelry store called Gallery Jewelers. It was a beautiful upmarket store in central Austin, ran by the Shaughnessy's. I mean, it's probably a good idea they didn't name their jewelry store, you know, Shaughnessy's or anything like that. Great name for a bar, not so much a jewelry store. The store was ran by Ted and his wife Corey. Ted was the face of the store, while Corey was the appraiser. More a behind-the-scenes type of gal, and they made for a very happy couple. They'd been married for 30 years, the store was a success. It did well. And they had one of them beautiful homes in Austin's west side, in the Cedar Valley area, a quiet area home to a lot of the fancier houses. The couple had one son. He was adopted from Russia when he was a baby. His name was Nicholas, 19 years of age, in 2018. He was in fact married to Jacqueline Edison. They both lived in College Station, a city about 2 hours away, home to Texas A&M. Jacqueline, she was studying there. Our story begins in the very wee hours, March 2nd, 2018. It was a Friday, regular ass day. Corey and Ted fast asleep in their beds. Nothing was out of the ordinary. They were working as usual, you know. Then something strange woke them from their slumber. It was one of their dogs going woof woof. They both woke up and Ted checked the time, 4:30 a.m. And it was odd. They lived in an area where it's not terribly busy. There are houses, but they're not on top of each other, so dog barking it's actually kind of unusual. Ted got up to see what was the matter, and he got his gun. They were jewelers, right? So you can't be too careful. And you know,
I was like, why is he automatically pulling out a gun? Like, you know, you hear some weird noises, you usually check your windows first and your doors, and then you grab your gun, if you have one. If not, then it's usually some other form of weapon. But, okay, yeah, a jeweler, they would have to be a little bit more wary and cautious, because I don't know if they're the type of people that take some of their stuff home for appraisals and stuff like that, but I get it.
He got his gun, we was walking him over and was like, it's probably a deer or some kind of wild animal, and the dog is losing its mind. Ted walked out of the bedroom door. Corey turned over to go back to sleep. And as soon as she closed her eyes, for a second time, she heard a gunshot ring out. It was one shot, the silence of the night, followed then by multiple shots. The shots were right outside the door. So Corey, heart pounding, leapt out of bed and grabbed her own gun, which she had in the bedside locker.
Damn, this
She could
family's
only see
strapped,
darkness
bro.
out of the open door, when suddenly there was a bright light, like a very powerful flashlight. Silence, then another gunshot. One of their dogs was shot and killed. Corey then just opened
No.
up at the light and then saw muzzle
Not the puppy
flashes coming in
dogs.
her direction. They were shooting at each other. Somehow, though, neither were hit. And Corey then ran for the closet, calling 911.
Travis County 911. Liz, finish shooting. My husband got out of bed, my dogs are barking. There were shots fired. That's what it is for him? I don't know. Help me.
Corey found Ted dead on the kitchen floor. One of their dogs had also been killed, and the rest of the house was quiet. The police were delayed coming. They had accidentally gone to the next door neighbors, and then they found this horrifying scene.
Yes, I know. I got really, really sad when they showed the picture of the puppy. I can handle a lot of shit. I don't like it when the puppy dogs get hurt, man. I don't know why.
Nick, their son, was injured.
Ugh.
He was horrified. The family was extremely...
I mean, I know why, but I don't know why it gets me that much worse than that dude losing his life and her being scared. Puppy dogs and kids are innocent little creatures that just deserve to live free. That's all I know, bro. That's all I know.
loving, friendly, nice couple, but in this part of town, too.
But first tonight, we are learning more about the man killed in a home invasion a few days ago. He owned an Austin jewelry store.
There was a temporarily closed sign on the front door this morning, along with flowers and a note from a family friend. Deputies
Damn.
say they're still searching for the person who shot and killed Shaughnessy at his home on Oliver Drive Friday morning. If you have any information, you're asked to call the Travis County Sheriff's Office.
Ted had been shot in the kitchen 4 times. In the kitchen, they found 2 different caliber shell
My
casings.
God.
So they believed there were 2 shooters waiting for Ted to walk in, and they both shot him dead there and then. The family did have an alarm system, but it wasn't set at that particular time. However, it gave them the first clues as to who these intruders were and how they got in. It could tell them when windows had been opened. They found an open window in Nick's room, so it appeared to have been the point of entry. The screen had been removed. They had also found a fingerprint on the glass, and in the dresser of Nick's room, they found an empty handgun box. Perhaps one of the intruders had found it and had used it. The window had been opened 17 minutes before the shooting began, so they'd been snooping around for a while before the dog started barking. Perhaps looking for, a safe or cash or something. After all, they were high-end jewelers and who had millions with like one of these. Millions with a big M. There had even been an attempted robbery
Damn.
of the Shaughnessy before. Years and years before they opened their jewelers, Ted had owned a pawn shop. Right? And one time a guy had broken in with an iron and tried to rob him at gunpoint. There was Ted said,
Holy
"Not
shit."
today, pal." He shot back. There was a gunfight years and years ago in this pawn shop. Ted injured the robber, the attempted robber, and he was arrested and locked in jail. Was he out looking for revenge? Like, the lines of inquiries were kind of spidering out almost immediately.
Oh.
However,
yeah.
with all of this, the police initially also had their suspicions
I even asked, and then I read the title of it, and I'm like, oh, no, it's not.
about Corey. It's always the other half. It's always the spouse. Even when it's not the spouse, it's the spouse.
Will you be able to tell if I shot somebody?
I mean, that's something that we may be able to learn. You see what I'm getting at is somebody doing this at night. It's a very risky thing, especially in Texas, because a lot of people in Texas own guns. I mean, it does happen, but I mean that's a big risk for somebody to try to pull off.
I can't imagine anybody knowing us doing this?
Had she staged a burglary in her own home? Which we've seen time and time again. Seen that movie
Yeah.
before. Simply
Seen it a
for one
lot.
of these. She would get a check for $1 million, not counting the store and the house and the yada yada yada.
No, I didn't know, Ted. It's not right. Somebody killed him.
No, it's not.
And I want to find him.
Me too.
New tonight, the sheriff's office tells us there may be more than one suspect, and it's looking into the possibility that Shaughnessy and his wife may have known the gunman. Detectives say evidence suggests the shooter may have been injured, and he or she should be considered armed and dangerous. The sheriff's office is also asking homeowners and businesses along Oliver Drive who have surveillance video to call them. They are looking for video from the evening of March 1st into the early hours of March 2nd.
Hell
The
yeah.
police really had a lot of leads to begin this investigation and a lot of angles where there could have been a motive. Corey, intruders, Nick, a case of mistaken identity was a theory, revenge, burglary gone wrong, and so Nick and Jacqueline, his wife, they moved in with his mom, Corey Shaughnessy. Nick even taking over for his dad in the family business. As the investigation progressed, however, the police did not think this was like a home invasion or an attempted burglary gone wrong. The fingerprint that they found on the glass, tracking that down, it eventually led to the window installer who lived in Minnesota, so the fingerprint actually went nowhere. The home intruders, the two killers, had been in the house for like over 15 minutes, but nothing was stolen. In fact, the only thing taken was the gun. The only thing that seemed to be missing and that Corey couldn't explain, where it was the gun. The police really did begin to look at Corey and Nick, the two people who would have had easy access to the house, who would have been in there for quite a long time. Corey, in fact, she was actually denied the life insurance policy because she was a suspect. The police had informed the life insurance company, we can't rule her out. The window that clearly seemed to be the
Damn.
killer's entry point
That
was what the
sucks,
police were
bro.
focusing on early. Why was it unlocked? Who knew about that window? Was it always unlocked? And Nick said he had often used the window to get in and out of the house. Say he was sneaking out at night or whatever, he would always use that window as an entry point. Sneaking out, when he was a kid to do whatever kids do, I don't want to know. Who else used it though? Did Nick's friendos have access to that window too?
Did they?
One was Spencer Patterson. He would use that window too if he wanted to sneak into the house. Side of the house, he knew about the entry point. He even had a gun that was the same caliber as one of the ones used to murder Ted. Not the missing gun that was believed to have been used by the robbers, but the second gun. Was Spency gonna spend the life in prison? No. They were able to get his phone records. It proved that he was at home at the time. I mean, he could have left his phone at home at the time, but no, it seemed like he wasn't involved in the shooting, the murder, home invasion
Well, at
of Ted
least
Shaughnessy.
that's one thing.
When his gun was tested, it wasn't the one used in the shooting.
That's good.
Nick was a weird guy. The son. I mean, he was the one who in fact had suggested Spencer, his best friend. Which is odd you would suggest that maybe your best friend could have done it. As saying, like, he was the one who said, oh, Spencer, maybe he did it. He has a gun like the one used. Why don't you have, who would suggest who would even think that their best friend could have killed their dad? That's weird.
You're not as fortunate as I to have
I don't
friends
know.
that will help him, like mine are. So he works at his Home Depot job, hating every second of it. When he's not there, he's studying for his job or his school at Texas State. Finding of anything that could be helpful.
Nick was just very chill, very happy. Neighbors would even say, yeah, he's acting kinda weird. Had he reason to hurt, to kill his folks?
There was a period where my mother and I, there was a financial dispute, and it was like really pretty heated, but we figured it out, sat down, wrote everything out, figured it out.
Well,
best thing to
just a
do.
bit of background. So this story takes place in 2018. And what was happening around 2018? Well, a lot of things. But that's when,
Fair enough.
day trading, everyday trading, Bitcoin was on the rise. They were already pretty big at this time, but they were like exploding exponentially. Apps like Robinhood, crypto, everybody was doing it. You know what else was exploding? Crypto bros, my bro. You had stuff like Wall Street bets and all that stuff really taking off. And our Nick, he was a crypto bro. More like a shit crypto. You know what I mean. His dad, Ted, had given him $30,000 to lose on the stock market. Nick was gonna bypass college and had dreams of making it himself. That was what Nick was doing. While he was living with his wife Jacqueline in College Station, she was in college, Nick was at home. Clackety clackety all day. Buy high, sell low. That's the old mantra, isn't it? Wolf of Wall Street came out in 2013 when Nick would have been 14 years of age. Of course he's gonna be dressing in suits, doing cocaine all the time. His hero is Martin Shkreli. Ted and Corey had seen this before, they knew where it was going. They were not obviously happy that Nick was bypassing college and trying to gonna make it as a day trader, which is extremely, almost impossible. So, but they just gave Nick a load of money, they said pay us back. They just wanted Nick to kind of get it out of his system. Enough losses, he'll probably be okay, yeah, shit, maybe I should get an education and get a good job.
Right.
That's what they were hoping. But the police discovered that Nick was flat broke. The day trading had, as his parents suspected, turned into nightmare trading. So they searched Nick's place and they found the security system, the camera, and it did appear that both Nick and Jackie were at home at the time of the murder. They checked both Nick and Jackie's phones, found nothing weird. Nothing weird on the surface, is what I really mean by that, because they also found, though, that like a couple of weeks before the murder of Ted, both Nick and Jackie had factory erased their phones. Like complete wipe at the same time, which is kind of odd. People don't really do factory resets all the time unless they kind of have to. So all the messages had been erased, except if you have iCloud. The messages will be archived on your other Apple systems, at least for a little while. So while Nick and Jackie had thought they had erased all their messages, the police found them. Those messages talked about money and about paying someone 50 grand for a ... Probably his murder. Let's be honest. So had Nick been hiring somebody? Tried to, successfully it seems. Old Spencer had a tale to tell.
Has he ever directly asked you to kill his parents?
Yes. He said, after my parents go, I would have $8 million.
Corey eventually did get that life insurance, Ted's life insurance, when the police cleared her. She did not murder her husband. But you know who wanted it? Nick. In fact, you know what he would have really wanted was if Corey, his mom, died too, because he would have gotten $2 million, $1 million each. More day trading, baby. Nick knew about the murders before Corey dialed a single digit of his to tell him the horrifying story. He had been monitoring the home security system through his dad's login. He could tell that the window had been opened. He was watching his phone as his dad was being shot to death. It was late May 2018 that both Nick and Jackie were arrested, but they still knew that they hadn't killed Ted. They were arrested for solicitation of murder, not murder itself.
The search warrants also say Ted's son Nicholas told an investigator he owed his mother $30,000, and the two had gotten into an argument about it the same week his dad was shot to death. Money Nicholas says she loaned him to start a day trading business. And then there was a text message investigators say Nicholas's wife Jacqueline sent a friend saying, "Only you know I'm broke," coupled with screenshots of her bank account balance and their joint account, each containing less than $2.
The solicitation had been wide, by the way. Not only had Nick asked his good buddy Spencer, "Hey, would you mind just killing my dad and my mom, just for
this is so
shits and giggles? I'll pay you real good, I swear."
Let's kill mom and dad because we're broke. Man, no, fuck that. Man, I got $20 in my banking account. You don't see me out there wanting to go murk someone. Shitty ass people, bro. Now, what was he planning? To kill mom and dad, get $2 million in life insurance. What was he going to do with the business? To sell it off too? Have a shit ton of money? Imagine, jewelers, they got some pretty nice diamonds and shit that he can get a pretty penny for. Say that they was robbed and then take insurance out on them and shit.
Apartment complex where he lived in College Station. Off the dome here. Murder? He'd been messaging her on social media asking if she wanted to make some cash through illegal means. She said, what do you mean? He said it could be anything from stripping to murder. Which is like, there's a pretty wide gap there. And then he said, I will pay you $20,000 a head. With like 3 skull emojis behind it. So, just to make sure she got the point with the skulls. She might have assumed though he just found this really funny. Nick eventually found his killers in a couple of furniture movers he had hired. Once again, while I have you here, murder for hire? What do you say? This then led the police to a Johnny Leon.
I'm not gonna lie to you, when someone offers you $100K, you're gonna think about it. We know you're involved in this. We know what happened. We know I'm involved. Absolutely. There's no doubt.
And a friend of his named Arian Smith.
Then I hear some shots come from the bedroom as well. And then I heard a woman crying. And I said, please don't do it, please, let's just go, please, leave her alone, let's go, please, just let's go. So after I say that, he takes off running and I follow him.
You're the only person that's showing regret. I don't understand how could you kill somebody and not have any emotion about it? And you actually killed him. I was just in the situation, I'm devastated, I cannot sleep at night.
It turned out Nick had given Arian the missing gun. It was found with him. That was it.
Man. I ain't saying that poor guy, but when something sounds too good to be true and like a get rich quick scheme is like murder, yeah, I think you might want to go ahead and plan on there being some restless nights, bro.
They had hired 2 killers, gave them access, gave them a gun and bullets, and that was that. Let them kill his parents. Let him kill his father and attempt to kill his mother before they fled when she fought back. Nick pleaded guilty to murder. He received 35 years. The 2 killers, Johnny and Arian, also pleaded guilty and got 35 years each. The only person who actually seemed upset by the entire deal was Arian Smith, who asked that he be killed in return.
Yes, I was there. I requested the death penalty. I killed somebody, I deserve to die.
Man.
In fact, the only person who got off, let's say, scot-free, was Jackie Edison. Now, she had been texting about the killers. There was evidence she had taken out a check worth $1,000 to pay the killers. But she more or less got nothing, even though she was pretty clearly lockstep with Nikki the entire time.
Do you prefer Jackie or Jacqueline or Jackie?
Ain't that some
Hire
bullshit?
somebody to kill his parents.
Yeah. I really loved him like a father.
Huh. Weird. See, the story, Jackie's story, right, was that, you know, Nick had explained why they need to go. They got to go. The reason they needed to go was this. This will make it okay.
Shortly after we got married, he asked me if I would stay with him if he ever murdered someone. He knew that they had a $1 million life insurance policy each, but he told me it wasn't about the money.
Nick said Ted, his dad, was extremely depressed. God, he's just very sad. All the time. Very, very sad guy, right? Now, Jackie would say she never seen him like that, but that's besides the point.
I didn't see that, but Nick said he did. And he mentioned killing him to end that. And I said, that's crazy, that's stupid, what are you saying?
He's one unhappy bunny, so he's gotta get got. We gon' get. We'll put him out of his misery. It's the humane thing. But not only that, okay, you know, we'll put Ted out of his misery, but shit. You know, my mom, Corey, she won't really be able to live without Ted. So if we put Ted out of his misery, we have to kill Corey too. Sorry. And the dog would probably be very upset too. So let's say we kill the dog. An awful lie. But it also seems like if Jackie believed that, she's the stupidest person imaginable. Regardless, she still knew about hiring the killers and had paid them. Jackie, though, must have batted those long lashes because nothing ever happened with her. She got probation, end of. Well,
Are you
every
fucking
year
serious?
on the anniversary of Ted's murder, she has to spend 2 days in the county jail. She also later divorced Nick.
I'm not going to sit here and say that I didn't.
What? Did Mike literally just say every year on the anniversary of his murder, she's got to go spend 2 days in jail? Why? That's a little on the stupid side, ain't it? Oh, no, ma'am, you're not in trouble at all. We're not going to put you in jail. We're not going to put you in prison. But just, so you know, every year for a couple days, you're going to come back to the jail and just stay here. That's the dumbest shit I ever fucking heard.
Do this. I'm not going to play a victim card. I most certainly played my role, and I wholeheartedly regret it.
Nicholas was an only child and the sole beneficiary of his parents' $2 million life insurance policy.
Jackie and I had gone to Austin originally to attempt ourselves, but ultimately it couldn't. Like I was too cowardly. I'm not that. I couldn't do that myself, and so it was. The later trips were used to identify just a routine, a pattern of what was going on when we weren't in Austin.
So they could tell someone else how to do it for them.
You wanted it to go through. You wanted it to happen.
It's leading me up for a trap right there, because on one hand I say no, but then it did.
Nicholas was sentenced to 35 years in prison. Jacqueline was handed down a sentence of 10 years probation.
It's something that I can never undo, and I will live with every day for the rest of my life. My ex, she got a plea deal of the century, like 2 days in county, for 10 years. Like, yeah, what? Where do they do that? So, part of this is...
Yeah.
Part of this is to take accountability, and the other part is to show my mother that what I did is not who I am.
And there you have it. It's the story of an adopted son who once, his crypto day trading days were over, oh no, my Funko coins are worth nothing nowadays.
Oh shit.
He thought, there's only one way this can end, and that's by putting them out of their misery. It's time to get murderous. There's a lot of motives, but most of the time, it's really just one motive. Thank you so much for watching. It really means a lot that you here with me watching this.
Thanks so much for having me, Mike. I always love being here. I enjoy you bringing me on every week the way you do. All right. I really enjoyed today's story. I don't understand the 2 days every fucking year shit. Like, that confuses me. Why? Whatever. If anyone out there understands the 2 days on the dude's anniversary of his murder thing, let me know in the comments below, because I don't understand that at all. But other than that, I really enjoyed today's story. If y'all enjoyed today's story as much as I did, please go down there, leave a thumbs up. It really helps the channel grow. While you're down there, if you want, go on over, slap that subscribe button, become part of the Bill 1000 Nation. We do some crazy shit here. If you want to know when that crazy shit happens, ding that bell. It don't work. And if it does, it works late. Good friend of the channel even said yesterday? No. Yesterday for me, so Saturday. That he got dinged, but he got dinged like 20 minutes into the premiere. So If it do work for you and works for you on time, jump on in on one of my premieres, go over into live chat and be like, hey, Bill, you dinged me. It was a little late. It was a little early, whichever the case may be. But it felt so right. Leave a like and dip. That's all you got to do. As always, be good to one another. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye. I don't understand the 2-day thing, Mike, and it's fucking with me.